Live from Colorado Springs, Colorado, it's ShortCenter with your hosts, Dave and Shane.
Hello everyone, I'm Dave and this is my buddy Shane. And if you're like me, you're probably missing football. You know, the finals are going on in the NBA and hockey's just ended and it's time to start talking football. We're going to get to some emails. We're going to take your calls at 1-800-777-2907. And we're going to start talking about the upcoming season and even seasons past 2008, because we're jonesing for football just like you guys are. So let's go to the emails right away. And what do you got for us, Josh?
First email. Love the show, guys. This comes from Mike in Ohio. He says,
Hi, Mike.
You guys should do a segment on who's going to be the best players in the NFL 3 years from now.
That's a great topic, Shane, and that's one that we've both talked about. Mm-hmm. And Shane and I like to do a lot of lists, and we kind of break down the NFL, kind of like Mel Kiper does with the draft. We kind of go into 3 years from now, 2 years from now, and even up to the upcoming season. So what we've decided to do from this email from Mike in Ohio is to list some of the top wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, and just the overall top 5 teams we think will be there 3 years from now. So the 2011 season.
2011 is what we're shooting at. You want to go first?
Shane, why don't you tell us? Why don't you give us your wide receivers, the top 5 in 2003, and I'll see if you match any of mine on my list.
All right, yeah, we'll just go by position. Okay, I got number 1 wide receiver. I've got Randy Moss, of course, assuming he's still in the league. I think that'll probably be his last year. Will be 2011, but Randy Moss is always pretty steady, so it's a pretty safe pick.
Can't go wrong with him, no?
Second, I'm going to go with Terrell Owens. I got Terrell Owens also still being in the league, but T.O. is another steady guy, give you 100-plus catches a year and 14-plus touchdowns. So after that, this is where it gets a little bit dicey for me. It was a little bit tough to go with, but I liked Brandon Marshall's progress a lot last year. I went with Brandon Marshall as the 3rd best receiver in the league by 2011, and Marcus Colston is my 4th best. Rounding it out, I was kind of just a stab in the dark, and I went Dwayne Bowe with Kansas City. He had a nice year.
Very interesting.
And so to be a tough division again in the AFC West. What you got, Dave?
Well, this is the funnest part about it, is matching his up with mine. I have 3 of the same wide receivers that he has on my list, and I'm going to go back. I'm going to go from 5 to 1, and I completely agree with the Brandon Marshall thing. I have him as a top 5 receiver in 3 years. He's one of the best wide receivers already with the yak yards, as they call it now, yards after the catch. He can catch the ball, and then he can break 40-yard runs. My second guy is a guy up in Green Bay, Greg Jennings. I think is going to be on the scene. He's young. He's just going to be a guy who thrives up there in the Lambeau crowd, and Greg Jennings has definitely got to be on this list and one of the best wide receivers in the next 3 years. Another guy that was on Shane's list that's on my list is Marcus Colston. I think you get nothing but consistency when you have Marcus Colston. And number 2 is Be Easy. I love Be Easy. Braylon Edwards is one of my favorite receivers in the league right now. And my number 1 receiver in 3 years has got to be Larry Fitzgerald. So, any... What do you have to say about those? I think your list is very solid. I think your list is very smooth. We matched 2 or 3 up, and
I think if Randy Moss and Terrell Owens aren't playing anymore, I think your list is going to be right on. I think in 3 years you'll have the top 5.
Absolutely,
without a doubt.
Let's go to running backs now, and Shane, we'll have you start off giving us your top 5 running backs in 3 years, 2011 season.
I'm going to go in descending order this time instead of ascending order. I'm going to go in descending order, go 5 to 1. So I got at number 5, I've got Ronnie Brown from Miami. I think he had a great year. If he can stay without injuries, he'll be.
Oh man, is he talent or what?
Yeah, and with them getting Jake Long, I think that only makes him better as a running back.
Absolutely.
I got Joseph Adai at number 4 from the Indianapolis Colts. Him and Peyton Manning, just a great combo with all those wide receivers. He's going to get his touches, and I think he'll be easily considering catching and running in that one, because I think he'll have pretty average numbers both ways. Number 3, I've got Darren McFadden from the Oakland Raiders. I think McFadden is going to do good things. I think he'll be one of those guys that will not be a Reggie Bush. He'll be more of an Adrian Peterson. Number 2, I've got LaDainian Tomlinson, LT, just a steady guy. I think when it's all said and done, he'll probably be our all-time leading rusher. And number 1, Adrian Peterson from the Minnesota Vikings. You just can't compete with that offensive line.
That's a great list. In fact, we do match a couple on this list as well. I actually have a real close at 5, and so I have 2 number 5s. I have it close between, and I'm going from 5 down. I have it split between Steven Jackson and Adrian Peterson. Just because I think what Adrian Peterson did last year was special. I need to see another year of him doing that. He could easily be the best running back in 3 years, but I need to see another year. But I definitely think he'll be one of the top 5 running backs in the league. So I have him tied with Steven Jackson at number 5. Then I have the exact same guy Shane had at 4. That's Joseph Adai from the Colts. He's not going to get as many carries as some running backs. He'll get 20 touches, so that's going to mean he's going to stay in the league a long time. He's going to be fresh. Then I think Reggie Bush. I think Reggie Bush is going to really kind of take on the every down back. Although they say that he's not capable of doing that, I think he's going to be, very exciting on screen passes and sweeps and the whole deal, and be a guy who can rush from 1,200 yards a season and also have 500 receiving yards. Then I got another guy that was on Shane's list, and that's this year's 2008 Raiders first-round pick, Darren McFadden. The guy is special. There's no doubt about it. The guy is fast. The guy is mean. The guy's a Razorback. And number 1, how could it not be LT? LT is just solid. LT is the best in the NFL now. He'll be the best in the NFL next year. He'll be the best in the NFL in 3 years. So, Shane, I think we matched up a couple more on wide receivers and running backs. I think we're on the same page. And let's go to the main position. Let's go to the grand poobah, if you will. Let's go to top 5 quarterbacks in the year 2011.
All right. Well, this list will probably look very similar to 2007 to me. Honestly, I don't think there'll be too many changes. I've got, in descending order, I've got Ben Roethlisberger as my 5th best quarterback for Pittsburgh. Number 4, this is where the only real deviation from the 2007 season, I've got Jay Cutler. I think Cutler's going to be able to figure things out now that he's got a hold of his diabetes. Brandon Marshall's coming into his own. They've got Kerry Colbert, who I expect to have a great year for the Broncos.
Sure.
And in 3 years from then, I expect him to be a star, second wide receiver. And then I've got Tony Romo as my 3rd best quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, throwing a TO, and I'm sure they'll find another receiver in the next 3 years to make that work out for Tony Romo. 2nd, I've got Peyton Manning, and number 1, I've got Tom Brady. I think you can flip-flop those guys however you like, but they're definitely 1 and 2 in any
solid list
order.
right there. Solid list. It's hard to go wrong. It's hard to go wrong with those names and that order. Mine's a little bit different here. I think that Bill Parcells coming into Miami, and I know he really likes John Beck, and I know the whole organization likes John Beck. I've seen John Beck play quite a bit, including live. I think John Beck's going to be a quarterback. I think he's going to be a force, and I think he's going to probably be about the 5th. One of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL in 2011. My 4th quarterback is the exact same as Shane's. I think Jay Cutler is going to be better than Vince Young, Matt Leinart, any of the guys that came out of that draft class. Jay Cutler, as Shane said, has the diabetes under control. If Mike Shanahan's still there, I think he's going to do what he did with Elway and take him to the promised land. Number 3, it's going to be Peyton Manning. The guy does not get hurt. He makes every start. I don't see him slowing down too much. I think he'll start to be the twilight of his career in 2011, but still one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. Then you got to go Tom Brady. I mean, these guys have just been, these guys just continue to do it, win every year. And Tom Brady, I guess, is the golden boy right now. And my number 1 quarterback in 3 years is going to be the San Diego Chargers' Phillip Rivers. So we match on Jay Cutler at the 4th position, or the 4th best quarterback, and I agree with you there. And we both have Brady and Manning on there again, and so we've matched.
Surprised with the Phillip Rivers pick.
Yeah, well, he impressed me so much last year. He was on key. He was on. He was just the touch pass that he has, and a lot of the questions about Phillip Rivers was his delivery. Coming out of NC State, people didn't like his delivery. I think we've seen that delivery is not a big problem.
Right. No, he's a great quarterback, definitely. I mean, I just wonder if San Diego's ever going to be a passing team. No matter how much they try, I think,
With LaDainian back there, sure, yeah. But, they got Vincent Jackson, they got Craig Davis, and then they've drafted another wide receiver this year. So they've got a lot of young wide receiver talent. Okay, and this is probably the funnest one, I think, that we're going to do here. And that's who's going to be the top 5 teams overall in 3 years in 2011.